Seriously, you're looking for a Christ man, the one who anointed with the Lord, with the Spirit of the Lord, to do His will. I'm that nigga.
One West, 125th Street. Look, y'all put y'all faith in presidents like they gon' change this country. Run the league and let y'all play cause y'all gon' make 'em money. Fuck Obama, he ain't come here on cargo.
American honor don't like no soldiers. For the spirit of the Lord, we don't like no soldiers. You understand?
Saint, black, Hispanic, native, they hate y'all as the same. Hate Christ in they image, hate you as a slave. God ain't all love, scriptures say he hate African soft niggas, they know we not the same. School to prison pipeline to get you off the streets. Put you in the cell toilet connected to the sink. Molested as a kid, she prostituted as a teen. The byproduct of Martin Luther King dream. They just took the yoke off, my nigga, we ain't free. We living bleak in these wastelands of poverty. If you don't know the truth, then the lies sound promising. Prophecy, gift and the curse. Dylan started killing, they was sitting in church. Black folk forgave him, man, this shit is absurd. You should never love your enemy, that shit ain't gon' work. Yeah, fuck dying on your knees, you better die in glory. Man, I joined the UPK, taught me the art of warring. I took a nigga life like mine to be recognized. I feel that pain every day, it can't be reconciled. Pops banging, my sister a prostitute. My brother got life, and somehow I still found the truth. War ready, no cowards, no excuse. Fuck reparations, you can't bandage no open wounds. Blood on the leaves, body swing hung from a noose. I was on a run in Nashville when I found the truth. I called the school, classes being held by the shock on my life. I want to be a gangster like a cop. Do this for my brothers, real brotherhood. Everything we do, we got it out this book. My nigga, I can never be no African. UPK the only authorized acronym. I'm passionate about my brothers and sisters. We in hell, I ain't got nothing against them. That's another religion. If it ain't under YAHANNA, ain't me murdered by them and got a hug from YAHANNA. That's the way out for a coward in my observation. They don't fear the Lord, they indoctrinated. Wolves in sheep clothing, Joe Osteen. Real priests bringing back black royalty. One West on my headpiece, ranking order. Can't let them trick me off the streets, I gotta raise my daughter. I got brothers at the border ducking ICE agents. I got the name change, it was life changing. My family thought it was a game, put on all black, they said I was going through a phase. It's more of us in jail than it was slaves.
Aquí somos la Escuela Israelita del Conocimiento Práctico Universal. Hoy estamos aquí.
Lord Commandant General YAHANNA I.S.U.P.K.
This is what Commander General YAHANNA did. This is what he did.
First camp, I cut off all my dreads. I took an oath when that oil hit my head. Niggas capping like they lids. I'm a priest, I never stick no fork in no pig. I was dead till I found out how to live. This brotherhood taught me how to be a man. I came back to my roots, I had to dig. A couple gaps I had to bridge. I got a rib, I'm married to this work. You wanna serve the Lord, he ain't in the Christian church. I had to dig.
That's right.
You wanna serve the Lord, he ain't in the Christian church.
Seriously, you're looking for a Christ man, the one who anointed with the Lord, with the Spirit of the Lord, to do His will. I'm that nigga.
One West, 125th Street. Look, y'all put y'all faith in presidents like they gon' change this country. Run the league and let y'all play cause y'all gon' make 'em money. Fuck Obama, he ain't come here on cargo.
American honor don't like no soldiers. For the spirit of the Lord, we don't like no soldiers. You understand?
Saint, black, Hispanic, native, they hate y'all as the same. Hate Christ in they image, hate you as a slave. God ain't all love, scriptures say he hate African soft niggas, They know we not the same. School to prison pipeline to get you off the streets. Put you in a cell, toilet connected to the sink. Molested as a kid, she prostituted as a teen. The byproduct of Martin Luther King dream. They just took the yoke off, my nigga, we ain't free. We living bleak in these wastelands of poverty. If you don't know the truth, then the lies sound promising. Prophecy, gift and the curse. Dylan started killing, they was sitting in church. Black folk forgave him, man, this shit is absurd. You should never love your enemy, that shit ain't gon' work. Yeah, fuck dying on your knees, you better die in glory. Man, I joined the UPK, taught me the art of warring. I took a nigga life like mine to be recognized. I feel that pain every day, it can't be reconciled. Pops banging, my sister a prostitute. My brother got life, and somehow I still found the truth. War ready, no cowards, no excuse. Fuck reparations, you can't bandage no open wounds. Blood on the leaves, body swing hung from a noose. I was on a run in Nashville and I found the truth. I called the school, classes being held by the shock on my life. I want to be a gangster like a cop. Do this for my brothers, real brotherhood. Everything we do, we got it out this book. My nigga, I can never be no African. UPK the only authorized acronym. I'm passionate about my brothers and sisters. We in hell, I ain't got nothing against them. That's another religion. If it ain't under YAHANNA, ain't he murdered by them and got a hug from YAHANNA.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isupk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one west. They're one west. They're one west.
All right, bear with me 1 second. Let me just share. Bear with me 1 second. We're live on ISUPK Montreal, Toronto, IET, on YouTube, I.S.U.P.K Canada, Montreal, and Barakiala on Facebook, as well as Bigo, Salakia. All right. Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Brakatam to all the brothers, Yahweh Shemar Latan Ba'Hashem Yahushai to all the sisters. I'm Priest and Officer 500 Barakiala with the I.S.U.P.K, which stands for the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA, the only man that is fit to lead the nation of so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians in these days. You understand? Since 1969, we've been giving you nothing but the truth about who are these people, who are the real biblical Israelites, right? Their language, their culture, you know, the solution to every single problem that we face on a daily basis, whether it's in America, in the UK, in Canada, you understand, Central and South America, or whatnot. And just like every Tuesday evening, we had the Brotherhood class taught by myself. This is a part 2 of last week's class where we went over Zeitgeist and the Illuminati. We're going to go over the definition again, just to refresh y'all memories, right? About what is Zeitgeist, what does it mean? You understand? The Illuminati, you know, these are terms that, one thing to understand is that really Blacks, Latinos, and Natives don't give a damn really much about definitions or whatnot. We really don't. We think we know something, and we really don't know nothing. That's why it's so important to be in these classes. It's so important to tune into these shows, to Black Watch, Cross the Line, Heads of State, 144, One West Ground Zero. What else they got? You know, Chain Breakers podcast, everything. Why? Because you're going to get nothing but the truth. You know, you're going to get nothing but the truth and the priestly perspective of every event that is going on, whether it's pop culture, you know, world news, what else? Questions about your personal life, right? How do you get these questions? You come to inquire to the men of the Lord, which are only found in the I.S.U.P.K, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, under Commander General YAHANNA, right? So let me share my screen real quick. We're going to start as a refresher of what is Zeitgeist? What does Zeitgeist means? You understand? Bear with me 1 second. I'm going to share my screen. Any questions or comments, y'all just put it in the chat. And before I share my screen, just so y'all know, anyone inquiring about the school in the area of Montreal, we do have the number. You could contact us. It's 438 816-2578. Again, it's 438-816-2578. That's the number we have for Montreal. You know, if you're in Montreal and the surrounding areas, feel free to contact us. We're perfectly bilingual. You know, we will accommodate you in whatever language you speak. If you're in the city of Toronto or the surrounding areas, Ontario as well, you could contact the number for Toronto, which is 647-793-7844, 647-793-7844. I'll make sure we have it scroll down at the bottom as well. You know, any questions, comments, feel free to ask. The brother Azanyala Shalama Kyabashashrakta, Most High in Christ. You understand? Now let me share my screen. Again, as a reminder, what is Zeitgeist? Right? What does it mean? You know, Zeitgeist comes from the German Zeit, meaning time, and Geist, meaning spirit. Refers to the defining cultural, intellectual, and ethical mood or vibe of a specific historical period. What is Zeitgeist? Zeitgeist translates to the spirit of time, or the vibe of the era or time that we're in. That's what it means. You understand? And it's so important to understand the vibe or time that we're in to be able to know how to maneuver through these times, to know how we should move, right? Which is, you know, the definition of being able to maneuver, right? We need to know how to act. We need to know what to do and what not to do. We always need to know what to do and what not to do, but specifically in these times. Why? Because the times that we're in have been spoken about for over thousands of years ago. In other words, they've been prophesied for over thousands of years ago. You know, and you're going to have to understand that it's either you're going to be with it, meaning you blend in with that spirit, you adopt that spirit, you adopt those, I don't even want to say that word they're using, the ethical mood, because there's no ethics, there is no moral in the time that we're in. And this is the spirit of today. This is the zeitgeist of today. You understand? This is the cultural vibe of today. What is the cultural vibe of today, you may ask? What is the vibe or the spirit? What this society has to offer us? You understand? What does this society offer us? Really? Shalom, Jonathan, Yabasha Shabbat, what for tuning in? What does this society offer us? And we need to, by knowing, by seeing what this society offers us, by seeing, by witnessing the zeitgeist or the spirit of today's time, today's day and age, right? We would understand how really Blacks, Latinos, and Native are going to be able to maneuver, how they should maneuver, right? What does this society has to offer us? You know, anyone could answer. I'm going to give y'all a few seconds. You know, let's see if y'all are paying attention to what's going on around you. Are you paying attention to your surroundings? It doesn't matter if it's just reading the newspapers. It doesn't matter if it's social media. You know, I don't know, but not everybody has access to it or don't want to go on social media. Not everybody reads the newspapers. What about going outside? You know, what are you witnessing outside? You know, what is the vibe? Or, you know, how are people acting? What are they getting ready to do? You know, what is the word on the street? You understand? Knowing that, you'll be able to know how to maneuver. And when I say you'll be able to know how to maneuver, I'm really, you know, addressing so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Natives. This is our people. Our people need direction. You understand why? Because they don't know who they are. How do I know that Blacks, Latinos, and Natives do not know who they are? Well, they call themselves Black for, that's the first. Call yourself a color. Latino, really, which is diabolical because Latino, a lot of Black people would be considered Latino. The whole Caribbean island is part of Latino America, for those who don't know. You know, then again, those who speak a Latin language would technically be considered Latino. Then again, we're not Romans, so why are we referred to as Latin? You understand? That's how we know that we don't know who we are. You know, what about the Native American Indians? Did they call themselves Native American Indians? Why are they referring to themselves as Native American Indians? Why? This is further proof that we don't know who we are. Which is why we have to address these people to show them the direction. But since nobody put the answer to my question in the chat, no sweat, I'm gonna help y'all. Example of, as a refresher of the spirit of today's time is, what does the society offer? Sexual depravity. We spoke about that last week. Women are campaigning to support, what's her name again? The horse, Megan Thee Stallion, right? They're saying, they're gonna do a mass cheating on their man. They're gonna cheat first. Matter of fact, not even a revenge cheating, right? Even though men can't cheat on women. Shalom, Yoming Charles, Yabashin Shabakatat, whoever tuning in. They're gonna do a mass cheat first campaign in support of Megan Thee Stallion because Clay Thompson decided that he wanted another wife. Sexual depravity. Again, as a reminder, all you women are gonna go cheat on your man, come back and complain that your man left you or he didn't take you back, and be surprised that he didn't. Newsflash, y'all single the moment y'all made that post. Just so y'all know. Sexual depravity is what this society has to offer, amongst other things. But what else? What is the vibe? What else are they offering to the masses? Right? What else? Anyone could answer. Young Man Charles, if you could, what do you see society is offering us? Just in general, I'm gonna give you another example of sexual depravity. This is the people that set the standard today. that set the vibe. I don't know who this woman is. Apparently, she's famous. She's saying, Jamie Lee Curtis says that nobody could tell which of her daughters is trans, and she won't have it any other way. If y'all see this picture, for those on Bigo, y'all could tune into the YouTube, on I.S.U.P.K Montreal, Toronto, or IET, or on my Facebook page, or I.S.U.P.K Montreal or Canada. If you see this picture, I really can't tell which one is a man and which one is a woman. I'm thinking the one with the brown hair on the right is probably just an ugly white woman, and the blonde one is probably the Decepticon, or vice versa. Maybe all of them are Decepticons. Who knows? Who gives a damn? But these are the people that set the standard today, that normalize this type of lifestyle, that normalize this depravity. You understand? How whoever that woman is, Jamie Lee Curtis, says that nobody could tell which of her daughters is trans. How is it normal today for anyone to identify as what they're not? And when I say that, I have to say it like that. I pray y'all understand, right? So we don't get clipped. But how is it normal today that, from their young children, they're being taught, that they could be something they're not? They could transition. They could damn near morph. How is that type of depravity normal? That's only one example, but what else does this society offer? We need to be able to know how to move. We need to identify what we have to move through. We need to be able to identify the obstacles we have to either jump over or, avoid, right? Officer Mashamar SHALAM, Yabashin Shabakatat, wife for tuning in. Young Man Charles said the black hair is the transformer. Listen, whichever it is, As far as I'm concerned, both of them are transformers. It's a lot, you know. But what else does this society have that is an obstacle we need to know how to maneuver through, how to avoid? What else? Anything. Think of today. Make it simple, right? A lot of stuff we do, we complicate things. That's why we, it's like the Bible. Let's make it simple, right? Salaki. What is it that this society has that is offering us or to the masses that Blacks, Latinos, and Natives need to know how to maneuver through? What is it? Anyone could answer. Now, listen, I got the answers for y'all. I'll just give y'all the answers. If y'all can't figure it out, that's fine. No sweat. Another example is, what are people getting ready to celebrate? Is it this Sunday? Let me see. What are people getting ready to celebrate? I think it's this Sunday. Yeah, Sunday coming up. What are people getting ready to celebrate? What is society getting ready to celebrate? Ask yourself that. What is society getting ready to celebrate? Also, y'all make sure y'all click the sign in and sign out link in the chat. You understand? Society is getting ready to celebrate Mother's Day, which is the worship of whichever comes first. Them right, Charles? Whichever came first. I think Sia Rhea is the Greek one, and Sabel is the Roman one. It's the same deity, just under different name. The Greek came first. They're getting ready to worship Mother's Day. They're getting ready to worship mass murderers, like mass unalivers. Why? Because how many of these mothers that are about to be worshipped in the name of a Greco-Roman whore had abortions before? You understand? How many of them had abortions? It don't matter if it's only one. Even then, even if you had none, you still should not be celebrated on Mother's Day. It's the worship of a white woman. It has nothing to do with us. You understand? Like, this is the vibe of today's society is mainly adopting and assimilating and perfect word, assimilating to Caucasian culture. That's sexual depravity. Let me see if I have this clip. Look at this. Let me play this clip real quick. Look at how this white woman is dressed. She's literally at the MET Gala. How you say Met Gala, MET Gala? I don't know. I don't care. She's there. Look how she is not even dressed. She has what? For those on Beagle, I'm gonna describe what she has on. She has like it's like a mold of two hands. I don't know if it's metal or not. It covers her breast, and that's how she's walking outside. She's naked, and they call it fashion. She's trying to make that's like a fashion statement. I don't know. Look at this. She has, damn, my tablecloth is bigger than her dress. That's diabolical. And that's diabolical. And listen, these women set the standard for how women should dress, for how women should feel about their body, they set the standard on how you should not feel ashamed of walking around like a dog. Let me just bring the precept out, Salakia. You should not feel ashamed of being naked outside. The Bible says you should feel ashamed. Why? Because if you're not ashamed, like a woman that is not shameful, that has no shame, What does it say about her? She's a B word. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 26, verse 25. It says, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. What is a female dog? Is the B word. You understand? Why? Listen, I have a female dog, Ruby. Shout out to Ruby, my turning 5-year-old Rottweiler, over 100 pounds. You know what? You know what's the difference between Ruby and an actual person? Besides the fact that she's a dog, Ruby has no shame. Ruby do not care about urinating in public. She do not care about defecating in public. She do not care that, you know, she's naked outside. She's a dog. And just like an animal that do not care about being naked, about Ruby, if Ruby's in the heat, she could breed right in front of everybody in the street. A dog don't care. Animals don't have shame like that. That's why when it says, again, in Ecclesiasticus chapter 26, verse 25, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. Damn, I'm telling you, Ruby has more manners than that filthy, disgusting heathen that we just seen damn near naked just now. You understand? That's how when Christ told that woman that Christ called a Syrophoenician, that Greek woman, he called her a dog. You think it was just because these people are shameless? These people are shameless. Like, you cannot tell me you don't feel any type of way of being dressed like that in public. How is this normal today? You understand? And it's nothing wrong in having shame. These people make you feel like it's wrong for you to feel ashamed. You should feel shame. Shame have you cover up. Shame is the reason you're not walking around naked. Shame and decency is the reason that you have clothes on. You understand? Whether it's outside, whether it's even in the comfort of your house with guests, the shame that you have, the decency you have, prevents you from just being a cave person, an animal. You understand? But these are the people that set the standard of today's zeitgeist. What is zeitgeist? Is the spirit of today, the spirit of this era. They set the standard of the vibe and how you should carry yourself. That's why there's so much sexual depravity, because the vibe that we're following today is the vibe of a people that is shameless. It's a vibe of a people that is moralless. In a sense, the vibe of people that really has no standard. They're animals. They eat raw meat. They parade themselves naked. The less clothes you have, the better. It's like a sign of expression. What are you trying to express? What is the message in showing that you are a sexual deviant? What is the message? Besides the fact that you should not be followed. You should not be around children. Definitely not. You understand? You are not, what do they call it? You are not wifey material. You are a predator. You are an animal. That's the vibe that they're given. And now they have you worship. Like, you see how the Bible says God made man in his own image. These people made their God in their image. That's why you worship. That's why all these pagan gods, you know, that were adopted and changed names through times, whether it be the Egyptians, especially the Greco-Roman gods, which damn near popularized that depravity. Why do you think that these gods are drunken sexual deviants? Because the people that made that created these gods, or really rebranded these gods and have you worship them, are drunken sexual deviants. That's it. And throughout time, right, that zeitgeist was carried over and over again. Why? Because every single empire, as we're mentioning in multiple classes, the foundation of these empires is just the previous empire that collapsed. The Egyptian empire collapsed, and then you had the Greeks, you had the Romans. It's all based on the same empire. You understand? That's why today's vibe, today's I want to say, I don't want to say norm because it's not normal. They deem it like it's a norm, but what's common today is not normal. You understand? Today, what did it say? They teach kids, they sexualize kids. Kids should not know about any type of sexual activity. They're kids. Let kids be kids. Go play with a truck. Go play in the park, football or whatnot. If you're a girl, go play with dolls. You know, do some, you know, go bake some cookies with your mom. I don't goddamn know. You know, you're a boy, go play some sports. You know, cultivate and nurture these children into something that they make, you know, whatever it's a talent or, you know, learning something, right? That's why we have these classes. But today, what's the focus of today is the same as it was back then in Rome, because that spirit is the same again. What were they doing in Rome? In Rome, they had something called pederasty, where older men were grooming young boys, right? They were basically in relationship with young boys. Let's see what's pederasty, right? Let's go into the definition of it, because we could paraphrase. I could do that all the time. Why? Because I know this. You understand? But for those who don't know, that they may need I don't want to say a visual definition because that's diabolical, but they may need to read a definition for themselves. I know for a fact that a lot of y'all were going to tell you, look it up. You're not going to do it, so we do it for you. Right? Pederasty. It says, in ancient Greece, it was a socially recognized, meaning it's socially acceptable in this Greek society. In today's society, they're still accepted today. As a matter of fact, they're fighting for it today. Under the guise of NAMBLA, under the guise of MAPS, they call it minor attracted people. And there's this white woman, she said she has a condition where she's dreaming about being a child molester. That's not, and she said if she acts upon it, it's because she has a disease. Just like being a kleptomaniac, which was another term for white women. They cannot stop stealing stuff. As opposed to pointing the fingers at them for being criminals, they were saying they have a condition called kleptomania. Now they're going to come up with another term that says they have a condition for just being child molesters. Imagine that. But it's really just their deviant nature. There's no condition for that. This is who they are. Pederasty in ancient Greece was a socially recognized, meaning it was accepted in that society, often institutionalized, educational and romantic relationship between an adult male, which is the Erastes, and a pubescent or teenage boy, the Eromenus. You understand? Listen, good night. It says widespread across city-states. It functioned as a mentoring system for citizens, combining mentorship, physical affection, and sexual activity. We're not going to go into that too much. You understand? Basically, they were molesting little kids. And when the kid is actually becoming an adult, they break up the relationship and the cycle starts all over again. That's exactly what they're doing today. This is the zeitgeist of today. That's sexual depravity, that worship of really themselves, because they portray their God as themselves, and they have you worship their gods and deities. You understand? Now, what else do this society has to offer us? If we get into these scriptures to understand how to maneuver through it, what else does this society offer us? I damn near gave it to y'all when I explained to you the nature and behavior of their gods. What else? It should be, straightforward. What else does this society offers us? Anyone could answer. What else does this society offers us? I'm gonna help y'all, right? Christmas. That's right. Christmas. It goes along with Mother's Day, though, right? But make it more simple, based on how I describe those pagan deities, right? Which is really what they were, anyways. Drunken, deviant gods. Based on that, what else do they offer us? So we already spoke about the deviant side of it. We spoke about the depraved, the depravity of it. But what else? I'll give you a few seconds. Let me give you the answer. It's really simple. What they offer is drugs. That's what the society offer you. The society offer you a way to kill yourself. There's a study. I just seen a post, right? There's a study that apparently they're saying that every cigarette you smoke takes 11 minutes of your life. Every time you smoke a cigarette, you see a health bar. Your life, that's your life. Imagine like in a video game, you have a health bar, right? That health bar depletes by 11 minutes every time you smoke a cigarette, apparently. Imagine that. It says on the pack, cigarette kills. It says it on the cigarette pack. They used to give this to pregnant women. I forgot until when, like they had to make it, they had to make it official to put on every cigarette pack that you should not smoke when you're pregnant, that cigarette kills. Nobody gave a damn. Nobody knew about that before. They didn't give a damn. Understand? They give you means to kill yourself. Listen, Kodak Black just got arrested. Kodak Black. Oh, good night. Let me see if I can find the article. Look at the face of that poor brother. Damn. You could tell he needs help, but he don't know where to get it. Let me see. Okay, Kodak Black. That's Kodak Black today. That was not when he was a gremlin a couple years ago when he began his career. That's today. Kodak Black arrested for drug trafficking related to MDMA. I don't even think he was trafficking. I think he was using. I ain't gonna hold you. Look at the brother. Why? Society offers you death. The zeitgeist of today, the spirit of today is death. You understand? And that listen, all these are together. All of these everything that the society offers, really, it's like a melting pot of things you should not do. It's like a soup that whatever ingredient is in that soup that the society gives you, it's for you to die. It's for you to kill yourself. That's sexual depravity. Listen, they offer you what they call an alternative lifestyle. You go and you adopt that alternative lifestyle, and you die of AIDS. They cured AIDS, apparently. The Lord is so poetic. He said, you cured AIDS. The Lord brought you a super AIDS. He brought you AIDS 2.0. Imagine that. Salakia. This is what a society gives you. Society gives you means to kill yourself. And you don't even have to do drugs. You don't have to adopt that alternative lifestyle. The Bible tells you that. Once you take part in anything that this society gives you that makes you turn away from the Lord, you will die. Where is that in the Bible? Book, chapter, verse. This is the book of Romans, chapter 6, verse 23. It says, for the wages of sin is death. What is a wage? A wage is what you get paid with. You understand? It's your paycheck. When you work, you get earnings. You earn something. Your wages is your earnings. You get paid to do whatever you do at work. With what? With money. Now, what is the earnings or your wages or your paycheck when you sin? Is death. You don't have to be sexually depraved. You don't have to be a drug addict. You could just eat pork and you will die. You understand? If you hate your own people, if you hate Haitians, if you hate Mexicans, you understand? If you're a foundational Black American and you hate your own people, it says this right here. For the wages of sin is death. You're as good as a corpse. You understand? That's what it says right here. And again, why do we refer to the Bible? Because the Bible is not a white man's book. The Bible is the constitution of so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, the real biblical Israelites of antiquity. You understand? And this is how we maneuver through the times that we're in today. Let me get, what is it again? Go to 1 Corinthians 3:19. Now, y'all think, you do whatever you want, right? I'm going to Ephesians as well. You do whatever you want because, what? Listen, some dumb white woman told you your body, your choice. You know how dumb that sounds? Your body, your choice. Matter of fact, let's go a couple verses above. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16 says, know ye not that ye are the temple of God? What kind of idiot told you your body, your choice? It says, know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? It's not your body, your choice. That's the temple of the Lord. It belongs to the Lord. You understand? That's who it belongs to. Your body belongs to the Lord. Belongs to God. You don't get to do whatever the hell you want. You don't get to transition. It says the temple of God. Transition into what? You understand? Like, make that make sense. That's why it says, do not love the world or anything that is in the world. Because all these, we can name a bunch of things. We could name what? Interracial relationships, which is still sexual depravity because it's a sin to sleep outside your race. Divorce. What else? All these tools, to destroy our people. Did you see apparently, like, I didn't watch the movie. I should watch Commander YAHANNA break down the Michael Jackson movie, right? And apparently during the breakdown, they made it. There's a clip of Janet Jackson saying, one of the older brothers, I don't know if it's Tito or Jermaine, he didn't give a damn about how Michael was represented in the movie. He just wanted money. And they, like, throughout years, the notion is that Joe Jackson, the father of these kids, was an abusive father or whatnot. Come to find out, Michael was a troublemaker, and Joe was just a disciplinary. He was just not let anything, just fly. He was an amazing father. But what happens with amazing fathers when it comes to Blacks, Latinos, and Natives? They're being demonized. You understand? Their image is being tarnished. They call it what? Toxic masculinity. Why? Because, listen, the kid should, you tell the kid to not do something, and you're making sure they're straight. You know who was a horrible father? Dwayne Wade. He couldn't stop his son from transition. He couldn't stop his son from defiling the temple of God. And yes, I said Dwayne Wade's son because I don't know what name that he goes by today while wearing a dress, but I will never call him that. That's Dwayne Wade's son. You understand? And he could not stop his son from defiling the temple of God. The kid went to what? Transition at 8? What's wrong with you? You couldn't let your kid be a kid. You had to support that. What's the other cat name? That plays in the scary movies. Marlon Wayans, however you pronounce his name. He said that he had to support his, I don't know if it's a son or a daughter. Listen, hey, one of his kids also transitioned. They defiling the temple of God because that body don't belong to them. It belongs to the Lord. You understand? And why? Why is it that, why is it that they think it's okay? It's normal because they follow not after the Lord. They don't follow after they don't do what God says. They don't even care. They're told that you have free will. They follow after the spirit, not of the Lord, but the spirit of this society, of this day and age. They follow after the zeitgeist. You understand? What is it again? I think it's Isaiah 30. You cover yourself with the spirit of Egypt, not with the spirit of the Lord. We know what the spirit of the Lord is. It's to follow the law, statutes, and commandments, which only applies to blacks, Latinos, and natives. So if you do something totally different, what happens when you go against the law? What happens when you go against the law? You sin. What is sin? What is the reward for sin? It's death. You understand? You cannot tell me that Kodak is living right now. Kodak would be one of the skeleton in the valley of dry bones that needs this truth. Y'all make sure y'all share this everywhere. This is why we have to share these classes everywhere. Share the classes, bump the algorithm. Why? Because what's being pushed today in social media is all type of fuckers. Fuckery. I'm gonna just say it. You understand? All type of depravity. It's normal to push. Like they have the cheat on your man first, just like they had the slut walk. They had the what is it? Not the summer girls, the city girls. You understand? What else do they have? I don't know. I just know it's nonsense. It's like and really, when you think of it, it's like, why are they pushing this? Did you know China banned OnlyFans? Not only did China ban OnlyFans, China also rendered illegal any depiction of effeminate men on TV. Why do you think that is? Anyone could answer in the chat. Why do you think that is? I think multiple countries also are, what they're doing is they're banning social media for anyone under 16, right? Which we're not going to get into that tonight, probably going to that next week. But why do you think that China did that? Why? It's for the same reason that BET is pushing hood rats on TV. It's for the same reason that the most popular genre of music is criminal and drug addict music in hip-hop. Not genre of music, I mean genre of hip-hop, Salakia. Why do you think that is? For the same reason that they're doing that in dancehall as well. But why? I'll give y'all a few seconds. I'm going to give y'all one more hint. It's for the same reason that the church whitewashed the Bible, especially during the Renaissance. It would destroy their country. You're not incorrect. I'm going to give y'all another hint. General Mahayman spoke about that, I think, months ago. Right? It's for the same reason. I mean, damn, how many hints do I have to give y'all? I'm trying to have you think. You know, it's for the same reason that women use filters on social media. Men parade themselves with the same stack of cash they had for probably over the last 2 years. You know, they rent cars. Listen, they use fake money. They have fake jewelry. Why is that? I'm gonna help y'all out. One last hint, and I'm gonna give it to y'all if y'all don't figure it out. An image is worth 1,000 words. So with that said, why did China? And again, young man Charles, you're not incorrect, but there's a specific answer that we need, which is another reason why the work that we do is so important. It's so important to let you know Christ is a nigga. It's so important to let you know that the real biblical Jews are blacks, Latinos, and native. It's so important to show you so that you could see. It's that I'm just giving it to you for time's sake. Art controls the people. Art controls the mind. Something visual that they could see is so powerful. You understand? That's why. Because the Chinese society will see that. Through their eyes, it will feed their mind. You understand? It's going to, imagine that, right? With OnlyFans and with these effeminate men being banned from Chinese television and media, it would be harder to influence anyone that would be reading like a pornographic novel than as if they're visually watching it. That's why, it's more captivating these days to watch a movie as opposed to reading the book that is about the movie. Listen, when you read Harry Potter and you watch the movie, it's damn near two different things. And you read Lord of the Rings and you watch the movie, it's different things. That because art controls the mind. Art controls the people. If they could put an image to a text, an image is, like I said, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And that's why China banned OnlyFans and effeminate men from their TV. That's why. You understand? That's the zeitgeist of today. That's why even in advertisement, they don't write about the advertisement. They have to show you what it does. They have to show you how it looks. Your eyes have to see it. Especially men. Men are visual. Listen, humans really have to see. What did they say? You have to see it to believe it. Women see something that's sparkling. They want it. Men see a woman that looks good. They want her. What you see influences you. That's why it says, you have to be of the spirit, not of the flesh, because everything you see is going to be an influence somehow. Something. It don't matter what it is. You know how many people, like in the time that the movie Scarface came out, you know how many lives changed because of that movie Scarface, even though it's made up? Like the movie about being a powerful drug lord. Like I talk about that with my cousins. Listen, cousins, dad, or whatnot, uncles. Like it was a whole phenomenon. You see Scarface, everybody wanted to be a drug lord. Does that mean that there was no drug lords before Scarface, before the movie Scarface? There were drug lords already. But that cool aspect of showing to the world about, Tony Montana, say hello to my little friend, and all these stacks of cash influence people. Be like, they see it, and now they want to see themselves in it, and they want to replicate what they see. What do they say? People say, monkey see, monkey do. That's why this society is made for you to show you things that are going to influence you, to destroy you, so that you could imitate what you see. That's the zeitgeist of centuries. You think it wasn't the same back then? Why do you think, like, it was open, like pederasty was open in Greece, in Rome? People were just going to replicate it. Then what did we read about it again? We read, let me share my screen, pederasty in Greek and Rome, it was socially recognized. Why? Because they see it happen. They're not hiding it. It's not an Epstein Island somewhere where only elites go. It's something that you see on a daily basis. You understand? If you see it all the time, it's rendered normal. And that's the spirit of this society. They make sin normal. They make sinful lifestyle acceptable. Like, you see, like, it was not normal to see any interracial couple until you see it more and more. See, the fact that you see it more and more, it desensitizes you. Some people are desensitized about violence because they've seen it so much. The moment they see someone getting their head blown off, it don't affect them. You see in the movie, what's it again? The movie, is it Boys in the Hood? I think it's Boys in the Hood. They're talking about, y'all want to see a dead body? A lot of us have been desensitized to a lot of things because that's what they push on us. And I'm not talking about conditions where the country is so destroyed, like in Haiti, they see all types of horrors, the cartel, the Mexican cartels. I'm talking about what's being pushed in society, not the result of it. We see the result of it. It's death. Whether it's an alternative lifestyle, a criminal lifestyle, depravity, being immoral. We know, like, death is the wages of sin is death. We're talking about how they condition us, how they program us. You understand? That's how they do it. They have the tools to push. That's how we pray. When we do the prayers for the curses, we say open up the internet and the airways, right? That same tool that we have to push the truth. Listen, they use that against us. They're not pushing the good black family. Do you know how many good black family there are with a good black family structure? They're not pushing that. They can't condition you. They have to condition you to love whores. If you love whores, guess what? The woman that is attracted to you, that wants to be loved by you, she will become the whore that you see, that you are programmed to love. This is the spirit of today. This is the zeitgeist, the spirit of this day and age. But it's programming from thousands of years ago to make sure we're destroyed. We're going to show you that in the Bible. Let's go real quick to Psalms chapter 83. Psalms chapter 83. Matter of fact, real quick. Even we spoke about that on Heads of State, right? We spoke about that on Heads of State with Captain Hadar. Like the focal point of COINTELPRO was to prevent the rise of a black messiah, and that's how they pushed drugs on us. They kept us high and subservient to make sure we don't rise to the potential that we actually have. Everything is programmed to destroy us. And that's what we're going to talk about in Psalms chapter 83, right? Let's go start at verse 2. Psalms chapter 83, verse 2, it says, "For lo, thine enemies make a tumult." It's talking about the enemies of God, the enemies of the God of the Bible, right? "And they that hate thee have lifted up the head." A tumult is like it's an uprising. His enemies are challenging him, because what's the opposite of lifting up your head is bowing down. is reverence, is submission. Now, if you lift up your head, you're ready for a challenge. You know, you're ready to fight. They're rising up against the Lord. Verse 3, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people, meaning they have plotted against the Lord's people. Who? So-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. That's who. And consulted against thy hidden ones. Verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. How do they do that? They did that in slavery. They pit us against each other. Look at the Willie Lynch, not the letter itself, but the concept, because Willie Lynch was, the letters were fake. The concept was real. Look at the Black Code, COINTELPRO pushing drugs on us. The foundational Black American movement, which descended from ADOS, which was created by some Jewish white woman. All these, you know, pushing, trying to integrate the LGBT rights, the gay right movement with the what is it again? The civil rights movement. All these were tools to push against us. Like even you see all these social media content creators, right, pushing all types of nonsense, or even conspiracy theories about a ice wall and some nonsense. You think it's a coincidence that you see all these new content creators getting all these followers, pushing all types of stupid doctrine? No, people don't just wake up overnight and do that. Think they're that smart? They're that crafty? It's like they're that crafty. They're paid. They're paid by the government. You know, they don't. It's not even about brainwashing other white people. Who cares? They're dumb anyways. All they care about is stealing more land and creating more Epstein's Island. It's about you, so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native. I had a discussion with a brother. He was talking about some type of wisdom. Did I say, yo, let's build together? Let's talk about wisdom. Let's exchange the information. The information is right here. Blacks, Latinos, and Natives are the real biblical Israelites, and we should go back to following the Lord. Everything outside of that spectrum, I say outside of that is it's nonsense. It's the wisdom. They call the wisdom of the world. Let's get that real quick, right? Salakia. Let's go back. 1 Corinthians 3:19. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 19 says, for the wisdom of this world, meaning this society, it's talking about the zeitgeist. What is zeitgeist again? It's the spirit, it's the vibe, the cultural vibe, or the cultural spirit of the time. Zeit meaning time, and geist meaning spirit. You understand? For the wisdom, the zeitgeist, the understanding, the knowledge, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. The wisdom of this world tell you you could be born gay. Come to find out, that's listen, that's a whole lie that was made up to push the agenda of gay rights. You don't believe me? I'm gonna show you. Let me see. I'm gonna tell you right now. I think it started in the 70s. They even said there is no such thing as a gay gene. Damn. Let me see. I can't find it. I think it's in the 60s and 70s. I'm gonna find it. I'm probably sure it in next class, right? The point is this: it was made up. Nobody's born gay. It was made up just to push the agenda of gay rights, because if you're born gay, you cannot change who you are, right? So if you can't change who you are, I mean, you have human rights, and if you're born this way, you know, as a human, you have a right to exist. So they invented the whole made up thing about being born gay. I forgot when it started, probably like in the 60s, 70s, or 80s. Who cares? The point is, it's made up. That's the wisdom of the world. It said, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. They've proven with science there is no such thing as a gay gene. God, it said God made men and women, he did not make men, women, and in between or outside of it. He said men and women. There's boy and there's girl. Listen, I'm going to show you how dumb y'all are with the wisdom of your world when you come to transition. There is masculine, there's feminine. What is the they, them? Where does it fall? Some of y'all, listen, there's heterosexual, there's homosexual. Now y'all invented like 30 other things. And really, you should only be heterosexual. Anything outside of heterosexual is depravity, is deviancy, is fornication. You understand? And that's the wisdom of the world. Tell you, you could do whatever the hell you want. God said you have to obey. That's what it says. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. Y'all think y'all stupid. Let me go real quick to Romans for time's sake, right? And then we get to the solution and how we should move. Because remember, we had to identify a few things. Y'all can look up the previous class. The point is, how should we move now to maneuver to the zeitgeist, to maneuver to what this society is putting in front of us as a stumbling block to make sure that they cut us off from being a nation, as we just read. Romans chapter 1, verse 22, it says, professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. Why? Because this, according to science, listen, according to God, a man should not sleep with a man. You understand? A man should sleep with a woman only, or multiple of them, not at the same time though, but he can have more than one wife. You understand? According to science, white women who can't stop themselves from stealing are kleptomaniacs. According to God, they're just thieves, and they are also the devil the Bible speaks of. Now they're coming up with a new term. According to science, they have a condition that they can't prevent themselves from being child molesters. No, they are child molesters. How do we know? Listen, all these scandals with school teachers, people working in the school system and whatnot, most of them are white women. Most of them are white women sleeping with these students, assaulting these students. There's another one. This is good. Now, I don't even want to listen. There's a woman. She went to jail. I think was it Louisiana. She laced cupcakes that she was. I don't know if she was selling them or just making them in the cafeteria. She laced the cupcakes with her husband's sperm. You can't make this up. That's these white women. Should I go on? You see the problem? Do y'all see the problem? This is what we're fighting against. This is the vibe of today, is that this is normal. They don't see it as a problem. Like, these people are the most depraved people on the planet. Set the standard. They tell you what to do, what not to do, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. And even when they tell you something is not acceptable, they still go against. They still do what is not acceptable. Because this is not a people who have morals. This is not a people who have rules. This is not a people who have standards. The Bible says, what does it say again? That a people that is not a people, that's them. You understand? Let's go back to 1 Corinthians 3:19 real quick, and then we'll go to the solution and how we should move in this day and age. Because we're in the last days, Salakia. We're in the last days. Hey, in these last days, right? How do we know we're in the last days? Because a lot of prophecies, a lot of events that have been prophesied that would be signs. There is no date and time to let us we're in the last days. We have signs that show us that we are in the last days that Christ prophesied about. Wars, rumors of wars, famines. There's the what do you call it? The hantavirus. It's like a new COVID that's spreading quickly. The hantavirus. You understand? From a cruise ship. Now, in these last days, you need to make sure your mind is right. To get your mind right. You understand? But let's finish 1 Corinthians 3:19 real quick. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. For it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. Listen, the wisdom of this world is foolishness. You think you're wise, you're dumb. We just read that in what? Romans 1:22. You think you're wise, you're stupid as hell. Talking about, listen, people today, I had a friend in high school talking about, he could smoke cigarettes and still be an athlete. I was always confused, like, smoking cigarettes do not harm him because he runs every day. You're going to have a heart attack while running. What are you talking about? Then we need to pull up the study of how smoking a cigarette takes away 11 minutes of your life every time you smoke a cigarette. Damn. You smoke 6 cigarettes. That's over an hour. You could have lived an hour longer than what you're supposed to live if you did not smoke these 6 cigarettes. That's studies. You know what they say in the world, the wisdom of the world is stupid. They say if you smoke after you eat a cigarette, you digest better. What else did they say? This is smoking cigarettes when you drink helps get you sober. This is. Should I go on? The wisdom of the world tells you that your body count resets every January the 1st. Guess what? As per science and the Bible, you're a whore every year. Every January the 1st, you just keep piling up bodies. The only way your body count can ever reset is if you become a new creature in Christ. And that one man that you sleep with is the only man that you ever sleeps with. No other until death. That's the wisdom of God, which is foolishness in the world because the society don't believe in God. They claim they do. They don't. God did not give them instructions. God didn't tell them, believe in me, this is what you do. Obey me, and this is what you do, this is what you not do. They didn't. They make their own gods after themselves. You understand? But for time's sake, let's go to Ephesians real quick. Right? Let's go to Ephesians chapter 6, verse 11. Right? Ephesians chapter 6, verse 11. Again, any questions, comments, put it in the chat. We'll put a sign out link as well. Salakia. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 11. It says, put on the whole armor of God. How do you put on the whole armor of God? What is an armor made for anyways? What is the purpose of an armor? Anyone could answer. Charles, young man Charles, what is the purpose of an armor? What do you use an armor for? You understand? What is the purpose of an armor? What is the purpose of an armor? Bear with me 1 second. Let me just put the Toronto number as well. What is the purpose of an armor? What is an armor for? I'll probably give it to y'all for time's sake, right? It's to protect yourself. It says, put on the whole armor of God. And I'll just paraphrase a precept earlier. I'm going to just have to pull that up to let you know how do you do that, right? What is it? Isaiah 30. You can go to Isaiah 30 and Proverbs as well, right? Isaiah chapter 30 in the book of Proverbs. It's Proverbs 18 and 30. Or is it Psalms 18 and 30? Bear with me one moment. Psalms 18 and 30 and Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1, for you to understand, right? When it says, put on the whole armor of God, it says, woe to the rebellious children, said the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me. Because you don't listen to the Lord. You don't inquire to the Lord. You listen to whoever told you your body, your choice. You listen to some dumb white woman that she wanted to be a whore. And she said, my body, my choice. She said, slut walk. That's probably a white woman. Don't believe that. I don't believe it's a sister that started the campaign to support Megan Thee Stallion by cheating first. I definitely don't believe it's a sister. You understand? That sounds like what? That sounds, like Caucasian activity, right? The point is this: woe, meaning death and destruction. Woe to the rebellious children, meaning the one who don't listen. You understand? The one who go against the instructions of their father. Woe to the rebellious children, said the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, because you don't take advice from the Lord. You take advice from dumb, whorish white women. But that's really, you just take advice from Caucasians. You take advice from heathens. You understand? The worst one is the devil, the Caucasian, but not of me. And that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit. What is the spirit of the Lord? We just read it earlier. We paraphrase it, right? The spirit of the Lord is the law, statutes, and commandments. But you don't cover yourself with that it may add sin to sin. You don't put on the whole armor of God, which is the law, statutes, and commandments. That's how you protect yourself. Real quick, Psalms 18 and 30. As for God, his way is perfect. The way of the Lord is flawless, perfect, no flaw, no mistake. There's no error. The word of the Lord is tried. He is a buckler. A buckler, if y'all watch the movie 300, those shields that they have on their forearm, that they protect themselves with, that is a buckler. It's telling the Lord is a shield. When we're reading again in Ephesians, we have to put on the whole armor of the Lord. An armor is made for what? It covers your body. You just read about the covering of the Lord. For what? Let's finish reading this. He is a buckler to all that trust in him. A buckler is a shield. What is the shield for? A shield is to protect yourself. A shield is protection. That armor that you cover yourself with, as we read in Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1, is to protect yourself. What is that covering? The law, statutes, and commandments. That's how we're going to be able to protect ourselves from all these evil spirits, all these tools that are used against us to destroy us in this society. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil, to fight these evil spirits, to fight these demons, to fight all this manner of sin that is presented to you like a buffet, like an all-you-can-eat buffet. You understand? Let's keep reading. Verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, meaning what? That whole armor of God is not physical. Now, that doesn't mean do not train physically. That doesn't mean don't stay in shape. That doesn't mean, don't protect yourself if you're being harmed physically. But what did I mention to you earlier about China? About art controlling the people because of the visual that influence you? Ephesians 6 and 12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Our fight is spiritual more than it's physical. That's what it means. But against principalities. What is the meaning of principalities? You understand? You need to understand basic definitions. What is the principle? Principality. What is the definition of principality? Right? What is the definition of principality? That's what you need to understand. What is the etymology of it? Principality originates from the Middle English principalite, derived from Old French and Latin principalitas, first place, sovereignty. Meaning what? Based on princeps, first head, from primus, first, in caput, head. If you see right here, Latin principalitas, superiority, authority, or first place. Meaning what? These government institutions that push everything against black people. COINTELPRO. You understand? They're the one who are reigning right now. White supremacy. Let's keep reading. Against powers. Against the rulers of darkness of this world. Bible says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, who and he is he? I'm just paraphrasing. Where is it? Job 9 and 22, 24. Who are the rulers of darkness of this world? Who just are the rulers of this world? Who are the wicked that the earth was given to that changes the face of the judges thereof? Who are those powers? People say the Illuminati. The Illuminati is just some idiots that claim that they had some knowledge that nobody knew about. Come to find out, they probably just get high on opium and they say dumb stuff. That's really what it is. What, the Freemasons? The reptilians? We just read the principalities. It started with principalities as far as, and it kept going with the powers, who's in power, and the rulers. You see, principalities is who's sovereign, who's reigning. You understand? As far as kingdom. You understand? SHALAM, Yahweh Shema, Thab, Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Who are the ones that are ruling right now? Who are the ones who are in power? Who are the ones who are rulers right now? Of this world, meaning this society. For times I'm going to get to y'all. Oh, oppressor, who's the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of? That's who. Against spiritual wickedness in high places. Understand? You're not, to all you idiots that think that, you're the new Black Panthers or whatnot, you're gonna take up arms against the government. What arms are you gonna take against the government? They're the one making all the weapons. It's like, just give you an example, right? People are talking about Greenland, and what's the other country they want to help Greenland against U.S. invasion? I forgot. It's irrelevant. The point is this. They were talking about, if we have to go to war with the U.S., we'll go to war with the U.S. You know how dumb it is? They have, what's that, the fighter jets? I think it's the F-35 or something like that. Whatever the name of the fighter jet is. The U.S. has a button. They could just press it and all the planes shut down. Just to put in perspective that you cannot fight physically that oppressor and think you're going to win. And just to put on the whole armor of God to be able to resist, to be able to fight, to be able to protect. That means reject every single aspect of sinful lifestyle that they provide you and go back to serving the Lord. The Lord said he will fight our fights. All we have to do is obey. And that's how you maneuver to the zeitgeist of today, to the spirit of today, to the spirit of this era. That's how. How? By rejecting every way that they offers you. Rejected that alternative lifestyle, which I already told y'all, I despise that word alternative. Why? Because an alternative is another way for you to achieve the same goal. There is no other way for us to come out of captivity but to follow the Lord. There is no other way for us to not be oppressed but to follow the Lord. There was never any other way for Israelites to be alive but to follow the Lord. You understand? There is no such thing as an alternative. Even for these sodomites, you can't tell the white man that he's living an alternative lifestyle if he's a sexual deviant regardless. That's not an alternative. Because this is not another way to achieve whatever he's doing. There is no such thing as free will. There is no such thing as an alternative. We follow the Lord or we die. You understand? Is we follow the Lord or we destroy it. You can't fix black community without Latinos. There is not an alternative where we're separate. You can't fix black community and talk about your foundational black American, which is dumb as hell, talking about black American. Nigga, you say you're a foundational black white man? See, that's the problem. What we just read, the knowledge of this word is foolishness. You say something sounding so smart. Learn 2-3 big words and put it all together. And you understand? And now you're the smartest person in the room, but you're dumb as a rock. Blacks, Latinos, and natives have no choice but to gather together. The real biblical Jews are Israelites, and we are to gather together, you understand, and follow the Lord. That's it. It's really simple, but y'all want to make it complicated. Y'all want to, you don't want to talk about whatever nonsense y'all talking about. I at this point, I don't even know. Not that I care that much. All I know is that all that nonsense that goes against God has to be done away with. All the tools that your oppressor is giving you to make you think that the Black Lives Matter movement. What's that other white woman? She claimed to be black and she ran with it for so long until she was exposed. She's a white woman. It was a whole, it was a whole scandal. Come to find out, oh, she's a white woman. Black Lives Matter. Some chapter of Black Lives Matter. This man went to prison for selling cocaine. Make it make sense. Nothing that you do is going to be successful to fix our people if it's outside the Lord. If it's outside of following the law, statutes, and commandments, it will fail. How do you know? The Black Panthers fail. The Brown Berets, the spirit is good to protect the people, but guess what? It did not work. You understand? All these grassroots movements with our Native American brothers and sisters, do you know how many white people infiltrate just by claiming they're natives? You know how many Irish came in saying, I have a great-grandmother, she was native. I'm part Cherokee. Come to find out the whole time you're an Irish indentured servant that probably were oppressing the natives during colonization. If it's not gathering together under the Lord, everything will fail. Now let's get it again. Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood. We ain't taking the land. We never gonna get the land back physically by fighting physically. You understand? We're not gonna fix black community. Listen, you think you're gonna remove crack cocaine physically from the hood? I think they can't just put it back. You understand? For we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Remove all the guns from the hood. You think they're not going to be able to put it back? It's spiritual warfare. I pray you understand. Salakia. But against principalities, these governments, how are you going to fight the white man's world and white supremacy? And you know spiritual warfare, but you know how you know spiritual warfare? Because you fight white supremacy by going to adopt Islam, which is no different. It's Arab supremacy. It's all the same. That's how you know our fight is spiritual and not physical. Because your way of fighting white supremacy is not by fighting physically, it's by trying to abandon Christianity, Catholicism, baptism, and going to Islam. When Islam is no different than Christianity. You go from white supremacy to Arab supremacy. That's all you're doing. And both of them are nations that had a crafty counsel to make sure that you are cut off from being a nation, in that your name, Yasharallah, Israel, is no more in remembrance. You understand? Let's finish the verse. Against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, that made you believe today that you have the choice. There is no choice for Israelites. If we follow the Lord or we're destroyed, today they make you believe you have the choice to freedom of religion. There is no such thing. Against spiritual wickedness in high places. You understand? That's what we're fighting against. Let's keep reading. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. To be able to not fall, to not crumble, to not fall apart. That's why how you think all these so-called fake Israelites fall apart. They don't put on the whole armor of God. It says gather together. It says be of one mind, be of one accord. Y'all want to get pegged by your wife. Y'all want to go save Samoans and Africans and East Indians, talking about they're Israelites and we're purple and thing. You know, you just hate your own people. You hate the Lord. You want to do your own thing. The Lord said, obey me. Don't do your own thing. Y'all want to do your own thing. That's how you know. Right? That's how you're not able to stand. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God. Put on that whole armor. You know, what are you gonna do? Cover your arms, and then your neck is exposed, and you get your head chopped off. Like, what's the brother name again in Florida? Yahweh ben Yahweh. What are you gonna do? Cover, you know, your upper body. You know, your lower body is at a risk of getting a leg hacked off or something like that. It says, put on the whole armor of God. Again, it's not physical, it's spiritual. You understand? And if you need help to fight, you need help to keep that armor on. You know what you do? Exactly what the Lord said to do. Because you take counsel, but not of the Lord. Therefore, what you have to do is take counsel of the Lord. Call for counsel. You know, if you're a sister, you have a man, seek counsel from your husband. If you're a brother, you know, if you don't know how to manage that counsel, seek counsel from the men above you. You're not in a fight that no one ever fought before. We all go through the same thing. You're not special. You know, so we share the same pain. We live the same lives in the same ghettos. You understand? You put on that whole armor of God to be able to fight that spiritual fight. Let's get one last precept, and then we're going to end this right here. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 4. And this is how you do it. Not just by putting on the whole armor, right? But you have to reject every single aspect of the lifestyle that this society is giving you. You have to be able to reject the zeitgeist of today, to be able to reject the zeitgeist, which is the spirit of this society, the spirit of this day and age. You have to adopt the spirit of the Lord. vice versa, to be able to adopt and keep the Spirit of the Lord and keep that whole armor of God on you, you have to reject the zeitgeist. You have to reject that evil spirit. You understand? Salakia. It says, and I heard, that's a better layout, by the way. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people. It's talking about the great whore that sit upon many waters. It's talking about Babylon. It's talking about America. It's talking about this society, just like a great whore, that has AIDS and syphilis. It's talking about do not sleep with that whore, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues, in order for you to not get the monkeypox from that deviant whore called America, that sitteth upon many waters, that fornicates with every single nation and kingdom. You separate yourself from her. You abandon the lifestyle that America gives you. You abandon the lifestyle that it put on the plate for you. Every single matter of sin that it gave you on a platter, no matter how delicious it looks, you don't even taste it. You don't even smell it. You say, what is it, Ecclesiasticus? What is it? Turn away from sin. You just say no. Nancy Reagan, y'all like to listen to white people. Nancy Reagan said, just say no. Just say no. You understand? It's that simple. Revelation 18:4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, that ye receive not of her plagues. In order for you to not receive the plagues, in order for you to not receive the punishments, in order for you to not receive that wage, those wages of sin, which is death, you quit. That job that America gives you, that they claim they're going to pay you a lump sum amount. You know what you say? You quit. You don't want the job of being a sinner. Why? Because you don't want the wages of sin, which is death. You understand? Need to come back to serving the Lord. Need to fight that zeitgeist, that spirit, that vibe of today's society. How? By putting back on the armor of the Lord, covering yourself with his spirit, so that he is a buckler. He's able to protect you, And how do you do that? You come into class. We teach you how to do that. You come to class, to every single class we have, from Monday to Sunday. You understand? You watch these shows. You follow into the footsteps of the men above you. Sis, you are being led by the man that has that buckler. You understand? What is the buckler? It's that shield. Stand behind that man, so that the children coming as well are protected. The whole family is protected. The whole people are protected. How are we protected? Because we put on the whole armor of God in order for us to be protected, and then to protect the people coming behind us. You understand? With that said, we're going to end the class right here. We're going to get a security announcements. I'm Priest and Officer 500 Barak Yala, with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commander General YAHANNA. As usual, we'll be back every Thursday, right? 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next Thursday, there's going to be the class in French, right? I'm going to try not to do I'm going to try not to do it in two parts, because I don't like doing two-part classes, but sometimes it's a whole topic that needs to be covered in multiple parts, right? Make sure y'all tune into these classes. Make sure y'all tune into our show, Heads of State 144, with Captain 10,000 Hadar Yala, Officer 5,000 Laban, Officer 1,000 a Warrior, Officer 1,000 Adiyar, Officer 1,000 Shaiwan, and myself, Officer 500 Barak Yala, every Tuesdays, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on Heads of State 144 YouTube channel, after the scripture breakdown with Captain Hadar. We should tune in every Sunday to One West Ground Zero Radio, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on One West Ground Zero, right? Make sure you tune into John Mahaiman's scripture breakdown that's coming up next in the next 15 minutes on I.S.U.P.K. One West online classes. Y'all tune into Black. Y'all just tune into Black Watch. Y'all tune into ISUPK. Period. Whatever zone you're in, contact the zone you're in ASAP, or zone you're closest to ASAP, because time is short. And like we said, it's high time to wake up. You know, don't tarry in seeking the Lord. Don't wait like you're waiting to stop smoking cigarettes. Stop now. Stop yesterday. You should have found the Lord 2 weeks ago. It's time for you to wake up right now, because when the day of the Lord comes, it's not going to be a pretty sight. You understand? With that said, I'm going to get the security announcements, and we will see each other next week, Israel. Shalom. There's the ISUPK security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, which you can find in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 to 10, which means 10th in the Hebrew. Ma'ashara, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming Holy Convocation. We do have coming up the Feast of First Fruits, which started after the Sabbath of unleavened bread, sundown. So you had to count 50 days from the unleavened bread, which will be celebrated on the 50th day, Sunday, May 31st, 2026, right? Sundown. You can read more about it in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 10 to 22. Reminder to all Akim and Wakwathian, reminder to all brothers and sisters to check the bulletin board in the hallway of their school if they have a physical location. And if anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, he should start wearing all black boots, shirts, pants, headband, scarf. With that, so we give a courtesy salute to the brothers as well as a courtesy salute to the sisters. Benevision Imajim, which means to stand, we'll give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Benevision Imajim Shabbat, Imajim, Barak, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Brakatham, meaning Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless y'all. Yajamata, which means hands down. Sar means turn and fit the sisters. We'll give him a courtesy salute as well. Benevision Imajim Shabbat, Imajim, Barak, Yahweh Shamar, Alatham Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, meaning Yahweh watch over y'all in the name of Yahweh Shai. Yajamata, class dismissed. The water Israel, we'll see you next week. Shalom.
Check me out, dog. Roll the window up, man. The water. Ain't no better, dog, brother. The son of a king. I don't Balenciaga. I might just wear Kyla. I might just wear the Pradas. But I'm thinking long term, so I might say the dollars. We ain't no better, I'm just being honest. I should've went to college, but I was thinking violence. This a one West world, we the fucking livest. Break it down, we break ground, we don't break no damn promise. Let's get active, dog. Don't tell me how you feel about it. These cats saying too much, they ain't learn enough. You maxed out the first quarter, I'm still warming up. These niggas tossing up a brick, they can't score with us. Who gon' come against us? On the Lord with us. Them niggas riding for you. I hope they ride till they crash. Put my name in your mouth, I put my belt to your ass. I ain't running no race, I just hope that I last. All them niggas you look up to, I consider them trash. Only time you seen a leader was in Wayne hand. Niggas will dap you, then pop you with the same hand. I'm a main player, I stick to the game plan. He don't really fuck with you, that's your main man. We them niggas came through and made your city hot. Yep, said he in the field, but he really not. And I ain't casting no stone, I just let him rock. And that's the kind of story they gon' read about. But if it's war, it ain't no tapping out. Grip still heat, spit like a dragon off.
brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please go to isupk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
Everyone